Hello. Welcome to the Xirtus.
SYNCTANK.
Little moment of silence there. Farewell, Ozzy Osbourne. You had your farewell tour. You know, your daughter's been all over social media, like to remind people you exist for the last couple of weeks. And now you're dead. Or at least I don't know if he's dead. He probably went off to the undying lands, you know. I was thinking here's Ozzy Osbourne.
That looked like the Rothschild mansion. Is that what the undying land looks like?
Oh, we're going there for sure.
I think the boat would look a little bit more Mordor, if you get what I'm saying.
I mean, you know, I don't know, because we look at the Boleskine house, but I was just gonna do this thing. Like, here's Ozzy before and after. It's very Lord of the Rings. I don't know, I just rewatched Lord of the Rings, and I get the sync pretty hard. He's clearly a hobbit. I don't know if you've seen his feet, but you know what they say about big feet. Anyway, here's Ozzy with the crucifix when he's like, you gotta imagine you're a British guy, a British child. Let's start with that. When you're young, you're a child. And your parents, if you're British, suck. You know, you invariably, you have bad parents, and they beat you, and they make you play music you don't even like, you know, which is why you're so good at music and don't even care if it sounds good and play like mean, nasty, satanic Sabbath. It's mainly because you had to play Greensleeves over and over again on the piano, and they beat your hand with a ruler as a child, you know, and you weren't allowed outside, and you're just this innocent.
I went to that school.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think we can all relate. Can we not all relate to Ozzy Osbourne? And then here he is, bro. Here he is, like beautiful and young, with his friggin' crucifix on his body, kind of like Lord of the Rings, right? Not unlike Lord of the Rings, where he's got that ring around his neck, which I think is related to the Xirtus, right? Because if you think about it, Jesus didn't wear a cross. Jesus wore maybe a one-piece outfit. But he wore the Xirtus, or he like showed the Xirtus, and the symbol for the Xirtus is only recently a fish. Apparently, it was a ring. You know, originally Jesus' symbol was this ring that says IXOYE. If you look at it, these letters go on top of each other. Look, see, IXOYE.
The first part is the fish. Look at go back right there where the X kind of makes the tail of the fish. It's those first two letters that make the fish that we know as of now.
Leave it to David Koresh to see a symbol.
Is that like Wheel of Fortune, or what is that?
Bro, that is when you take all the letters and you stack them on top of each other into a dinger. Dinger, is that how do I spell that? Dinger, like this? The dinger, you know? The dinger, bro. This is the ancient symbol worshipped on a cylinder seal from Mitanni, right? You know, the dinger, you know?
You're always trying to pull your dinger out whenever we get to that. So here it is.
We call him Jumbo, just like it was named not by me, but by Lyndon B. Johnson. When he saw me once, he was just looked over and he's like, "Hello, Jumbo." Anyway, this is the dinger, and that's the Xirtus and the Lord of the Rings. So that's what we were going with right there, because clearly he went to the Undying Lands, and he used to be pretty Jesus-y fellow, like, because his parents made him be a Jesus-y fellow, but he was interested. He wanted to really connect with the religion, with the spirituality, with everything else. He goes off to the Boleskine house, which you guys remember is the Aleister Crowley's magical mystery lair that they did the Mr. Crowley ritual right there, that Crowley's unicursal hexagram and just some butt buddy stuff, which again is very much like Lord of the Rings. If you remember, there's this whole thing with Frodo and
wasn't that bought by Led Zeppelin too? Like later?
Yeah, Jimmy Page.
Yeah. Well, now Sean Astin's now in charge of the Screen Actors Guild. You saw that, right?
What about Sharon?
Sean Astin. Right?
Sharon.
Well, we'll get to the Syncs. I just got to get through my emotional plea real quick. That was him before the Boleskine house, and then this is him after the Ring. You know what I mean? Like, you can see he's already, something happened to him at the Boleskine house. We all knew it
happened to Paul McCartney in 1966.
Bro, some crazy stuff happened. And yeah, does it not remind you of a place? I kind of love the red carpet, the Scottish tartan, the Nicholson tartan that they decided to use. That's pretty interesting. What is the deal with the Nicholson tartan being, the symbol of the Boleskine house?
And this piece burnt down a couple times, right?
It burnt down several times, and here's what it looks like right now. And it needs a new roof. It needs some love. I think they keep it like this on purpose because, that way no one will use it unless they need to use it, and it's good for what they need it for, basically.
I've got a really cool CryptoK fact about this that I don't think I've ever shared with anyone. Sean and I were getting into Google Earth and doing these like geographic distances using these numbers and stuff, and one of the things that were found was, going into Kubrick's estate, his mansion in St. Albans, which is in England. I just decided to measure the distance between Boleskine House and the Kubrick estate, and it's 666 kilometers between the two houses. So 666. That's the Crowley number.
It's a pretty good number. Because only the wise will understand it. So, kind of makes sense, right?
Not even then. But
is Ozzy an Oswald? Is that what his first name is?
I would assume Ozzy Osbourne. That's got to be Oswald, right?
Oswald.
John. Osbourne? Apparently, his name is John Michael. Because Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy is for Osbourne, so his name is John Michael, which is pretty interesting. St. John and St. Michael. Dude, he isn't what you think he is. That's what's really weird about Ozzy Osbourne. He's like a religious man.
Are you gonna tell us he was really good at music?
Bro, he was like some sort of weird British thing, the same as Crowley. He was one of those things where they don't let him eat sugar. It's the same problems, they're like restricted diet, like he was not allowed to do all sorts of stuff as a kid. Clearly, like how else do you end up like that? I mean, if you're like that obsessed with eating cake and taking drugs, it's because you were told as a kid you're not allowed to, and you're like rebelling, right? And he's to rebel your entire life. He's born in 48, so it's like he lived through the penchant of post-war save what you've got for later British thinking, to like starve-crazed British people like birds. And then to the height of the British Empire, the corporate British Empire, where they had all of the wealth, all of them, kind of like the 1600s, like sugarcane, cocaine, whatever they got from anywhere, you could do it all. Like they had lots of money, and to see that transition, like, can you survive that? It's so hard to imagine being able to survive that, because a monk in isolation is broken by his first temptation.
Doesn't this prove that his upbringing was correct, though? Because it gave us Ozzy Osbourne, and the same thing with Aleister Crowley. Like, their upbringing gave us that. You don't want Ozzy Osbourne to be saying, like, I don't want to do drugs anymore, Mom. Stop forcing me to play this rock and roll music. I just want to play Greensleeves my entire life, right?
I think I got an answer to that. I don't know if it's true, because I think they did the same amount of cocaine, but Kenny Loggins, you know what I mean? Right? Kenny Loggins. This Is It, right? Where he wears like that weird like Jesus robe and stuff. There's that Grand Canyon tour. Where's that one? Grand Canyon concert, 1992. Look at him dressed as Jesus Christ, straight up. Isn't that kind of the answer? Isn't that the answer? Kenny Loggins is the answer, I think.
I
realistically.
mean, sure. I'm not going to fight on this. This one I actually agree with.
Dude, he's holding the same orb that Trump held. You know what I mean? They once asked Kenny Loggins if you could write a theme song for a movie you didn't get to, which movie would it be? And he said, "Oh, The Matrix, easily." And I already know what I would call the song. It'd be called "It's Not What You Think It Is."
I think David needs to get on this. We need a
I
Kenny
know.
Loggins Matrix sync flick.
Kenny Loggins tied in with Boleskine, I feel like is the other. We got to figure out what's going on with that.
Take a ride into the danger zone, huh?
Okay, I owe
Danger zone or we crazy train, homie? Which one? We got to pick something.
Dude, the crazy train goes into the danger zone. I think I owe Alex. I owe Alex here because Alex has been patient. He wanted to explain something about Sharon. Sharon. You know?
Well, I just think you can't talk about Ozzy without talking about Sharon.
I mean, she's kind of cool for a handler.
Sharon? Yeah,
for a handler, she's all right.
I was just going back in my old notes and looking at stuff because I had noticed that. Well, this is kind of amazing. When did they marry? Sharon and Ozzy got married on July 4th, 1982.
Really?
And this was
wow. What a Masonic witch.
61 years since the shining July 4th, 1921. 61 being 732 months. So that's an interesting anniversary. But then I just compared that to today, which, or this month, which he had his final concert on July 5th of this year, which was actually the day after his anniversary then. And I had pointed out how Ozzy was exactly 666 times 6 weeks old on that day. And then he dies about 19 days later or 17 days later, something like that. Jesus. So just the pairing of his death and final concert in the same sort of time of the year as his marriage. And also it's the anniversary of that month in 1982 is worth talking about too, but it's like more, I'm going to have to write something about it. I actually am writing a piece about everything. So anyway, yeah, Sharon. And then the other last bit of that is that I looked at the premiere date of the show, the Osbournes, which is like, when they
I love that show.
Second career. And that was, I'll just read it. The Osbournes premieres first day of the 969th month after July 4th, 1921. They married 732 months after July 4th, 21. So their reality show about their marriage premiered one day into the 237th month after they married. So there's this weird shit going on with them.
My God.
As a married couple, their TV reflection, and it's weird.
I really like that show. The Osbournes reminded me of my own childhood in so many ways.
Who are you?
I mean,
are you Jack or are you Kelly?
That Christian wheel is right behind his head.
Yeah, true. I don't know who I am. I just remember like the whole
the dinger. What'd you say?
The dinger, bro. You know what a dinger is?
What is
Dude, the dinger, the cuneiform Sumer dinger is important because it's essentially the dinger zone running into crazy train into the dinger zone. Dude, the dinger is it's a Sumerian word for god or goddess in cuneiform, and it's most commonly employed as a determinative for religious name or religious concepts. One thing that's interesting to me about the dinger is the Chi-Rho. Because if you compare the Chi-Rho, especially the earliest Chi-Rhos, you'll notice that it's essentially where am I going with this? Where to go? Come on back.
It's a dinger. You left the dinger. You left the dinger to get the Chi-Rho.
Sucks. Okay. The dinger and then the Chi-Rho. If you kind of like flash them back and forth like some sort of a conspiracy theorist in some 90s movie, then you can't help but see it. Now whenever you see one, you'll see the other. You shall be forever insight in mind.
Yeah, I saw the Chi-Rho and I didn't know what that was. I saw that in a movie like around someone's neck, and the same fashion that you're showing like the cross around Ozzy's neck. But yeah,
just something else there we need to get into, which is kind of interesting. So Aleister Crowley had the Boleskine house, and the Boleskine house is very close to Loch Ness, right? It's actually on the Loch Ness Lake. And what you don't think about, I mean, when you probably think about the Loch Ness monster, like that's something that comes up a lot. People love the Loch Ness monsters, like the Bigfoot. of satanic British people. But you know that the Loch Ness Monster didn't exist. I mean, this is complicated, but essentially, until Crowley's ritual, there was no record of the Loch Ness Monster. Dorothy Priestley purchased the residence from Crowley, and there's yeah, for real.
What do you think? Okay, so what was Crowley? What was his ritual? Was his ritual in any way like? Do we know exactly what it was that he was doing when that started?
He was calling on an ancient dinosaur to come.
Where's that scene where
he was
Frodo
calling on the Leviathan? I got back up to that because I have individuals saying that the Leviathan is a baby or the Loch Ness is a baby Leviathan.
Dude, look! There's just some serious homoeroticism about the Lord of the Rings.
So this is what happened to the Boleskine house.
This is what happened at the Boleskine house, bro. Look, he even kisses him. Like, you know what's up, essentially. And there's that whole thing where he has to throw the ring into the fire and he can't do it. And finally, Gollum bites off his finger, and he tosses him in, and he pulls him out. He pulls him out of the ring of fire, right? Remember, Samwise pulls him out of the ring of fire when he's supposed to fall in there. He's like, "Don't you let go, Mr. Frodo. Don't you let go." I'm pretty sure that's what happened at the Boleskine house. Something to that effect. That was the Crowley ritual to some extent. And Priestley, I'm sure Priestley did some weird stuff. They act like she was completely chill, but let's be honest. Is there any doubt whatsoever? Here's Jimmy Page. Could Jimmy Page even play guitar anymore because of leaving the Boleskine house? He screwed that up. His musical talent came and left with his Crowley house.
Page is making albums with the Black Crowes.
All right, that's good. I'll take it.
We call the Boleskine house the Brokeback Shire now.
Brokeback Shire. There it is. I mean, but there's something weird about the Loch Ness Monster, just because there's the Loch Ness Monster. I just had it there. Loch Ness Monster. Nessie, as they call it. Nessie. Popular interest in the creature has varied since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Okay, which this is during Priestley's control. Very soon after there are some conversations about it since about 1913,
August 33 too. That's the month Roman Polanski was born. So I'm always poking around in August 1933.
They claim some stories. St. Columbia bested a sea dragon in the 7th century, kind of Beowulf period. There's another mention in 1871 and then again in 1888. But then nothing happens again until 1933. So there's something very interesting to me about this. The idea that the Loch Ness Monster is sort of awoken or portals are opened at that point.
Or not to rain on the parade, but Crowley being a noted disinfo kind of intel propaganda officer, maybe he was planting some occult kind of.
He just faked the Loch Ness. The Loch Ness was a psyop.
Yeah, but he didn't see because he was gone.
That was actually him in that picture with a big
right.
But like in Jaws, yeah. But it's
had like a blanket over his back.
But it's 33 by the time that anyone starts talking about the Loch Ness Monster. I don't think maybe, but like in 33, he's already getting in trouble in Italy or something. Isn't that the point? Yeah, it's like 80. It's like 25 or something that he starts having trouble in Italy. So I mean, it's possible, but I think it's even weirder. I think really straight up, something happens at the Boleskine house, and it's like that movie Hellboy. This thing comes
just to reiterate, 666 kilometers from where Kubrick intentionally moved in the later point of his life and died and was buried to Boleskine house. So, there's something there.
And Pete's Dragon, for sure. Pete's Dragon and Loch Ness Monster. There's kind of a vibe there with the Garden of Eden, the fruit of knowledge, something like that.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Dude, I don't know what you think. What
How to Drain Your Dragon, I think, is what it's
called. How to Drain Your Lizard. So, what do you think though in terms of Ozzy Osbourne being? What do you guys think went down? Just bringing it up. What's your thoughts on?
I got dogs barking at me. Wait, what happened? Who?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think happened?
What did he go through at the
I think he died. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about at the Boleskine house.
Yeah, because like his
Right.
whole life changed at that point. He became super famous because going there, right? He was just kind of a
Well, God, I mean, what? Isn't it like obvious? Like join the cult. He got buggered. He did the whole ritual, and then he got his assignment to go and be Ozzy Osbourne.
Do you think that was like a pick from the hat? Like he could have ended up being George Michael?
Was that Crowrazone? What was
I think it depends on where they're born, you know.
Loch Ness here?
When and where.
I think more importantly too, if all these guys truly believe in the power of dates and numbers and astrology, it seems unlikely that you would also leave death up to chance. That if you cared about it that much, you would be like, it would be most advantageous to me and my dynasty if I died on this date and at this time, right? But I don't know. That seems taboo sometimes to even, to calculate it. But it truly, if you live your entire life by a horoscope, why wouldn't you live your death by a horoscope?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's definitely true. But there's also there's always the possibility of that they have absolutely no idea that any of this stuff is actually going on, and this is just like the after effects of our existence, or some quirk of the
it's like
time.
Brewster's Millions or something, or maybe that's the bad analogy.
Trading
You
places.
got like a tower or Rat Race. Maybe Rat Race is a better example.
Yeah, or Westworld or something like freaking hosts versus what do they call them, the regular robots in the park? Hosts versus guests or whatever. Ozzy seems like one of these candidates for host or guest. I can't remember one of the two.
right because Ozzy's 92 in ordinal. If you use the Occult Decode website, like you should.
Oh yeah.
Shout out.
92.
Ozzy's 92. It's 90. You could also get like You and Me and The Devil Makes Three kind of a thing, like 0 and 92, because 92 is 93 digits.
Tupac is also 22 in Chaldean. So it's 22 in Chaldean for Ozzy, and then it's Tupac is 22 in ordinal for Tupac.
Nice. Not bad.
Ozzy Osbourne, the full name in ordinal. Okay, this is good. Ozzy Osbourne, the full name in ordinal is 201, and there are exactly 201 weeks between Ozzy and Sharon's birthdays.
Something to that, for sure.
201, event 201, 2001, 21 is half of 42, blah, blah, blah.
No one told me there was math.
There's always math. I just watched Pi again recently. The world is made up of numbers.
Yeah.
Therefore, patterns will emerge.
What's with the orange?
Clockwork Orange.
Oh, okay, right, sure.
I know he's got the eyeliner on because he's always got eyeliner on.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
He just
like
that.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange is definitely some Ozzy records.
Impactful.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne with eyeliner, and it just looks like normal Ozzy.
All his code, all his information. Yeah, I agree. I give you that.
See, I came away hopeful from when the Pi movie. I was excited because I was like, the future is going to be, we don't have to do math. We could just have like a little GUI computer with ants on it, and that'll do all the math that you need it to. And as long as you keep those ants feeding on whatever that goo is, then you control the stock market. And then you don't have to, if you can do that, then you don't have to actually do any math yourself.
Is that not supposed to be semen? Like, isn't that just like the seed of God kind of in Pi? And the bug, computer bugs?
Coming out of the computer, for one. That is kind of a total inversion, right?
All right, I got something here. Ozzy Osbourne's midpoint, okay? Life midpoint. You use the occultdecode.com midpoint generator, and you can find midpoints. Ozzy's midpoint comes to March 28th, 87. And just apropos of what we were just talking about, I'm going to drop this link of this person who was born on that day in the private chat.
No, really? Really?
Jonathan Van Ness.
From Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and Gay of Thrones.
Right. Ness?
Speaking of Aleister Crowley, look at his little hands. Look at his little throat. Like
Yeah,
his little
what is
hobbit
going
hands.
on?
That's AI. I can tell AI hands a mile away. This is AI.
I don't know, bro.
So
Pretty
where are
sure
the fingers even coming from?
if that's AI, then all of gay is AI, and I'm pretty sure it's real.
Gay eye.
Gay eye. It's
The
gay
gay
eye.
eye for the straight guy, right? Gay
Yeah.
AI
AI.
for the queer guy.
AI for the straight guy. I don't know. That's pretty weird.
There's
What do you
some
think?
things. Yeah, I mean that. Talk about Boleskine house, or what? I don't know. Okay, so March 28th, 87. The other things that I found on that were the day after his WrestleMania 3, which was like the biggest WrestleMania ever. And what the hell was the other one? Oh, before that, the death of Maria von Trapp, who was the Sound of Music inspiration, the matriarch of the musical Von Trapp family. So that's sort of very Aussie coded, I'd say, or whatever. There's some lots of interesting things too.
Didn't they got like a ski lodge, right?
Baroness.
The Baroness.
Yes.
Yeah, the Von Trapp ski lodge in the middle of America. I think. I don't know if I can find it. Later lives, New Guinea, mission work.
Yeah, Von Trapp dies on Ozzy's midpoint. Sound of Music is inspired by their family.
This is what Maria Von Trapp looked like. She was such a nun. No one will tell you that. She does not look like Julie Andrews, bro.
She looks like she wears a nip cut.
Well, I don't know. It sucks for Ozzy, I guess, unless it's like all good for Ozzy, because it seems like he knew what was coming. Obviously, he decided to prepare by doing this like going away tour, similar to Michael Jackson, which he just didn't even care about the audience. He just wanted to do it, right? I feel like that was the Michael Jackson tour.
Is that when he set his hair on fire just to make a big
spectacle? No, that's the 80s, bro. Like it's a long time ago. That was Pepsi.
Oh, that.
The Pepsi.
Talking about midpoint.
That's if you believe that story.
Literally,
you don't think it's Pepsi's fault? I blame Pepsi for it.
That literally happened on the exact midpoint of Michael Jackson's life. That was like one of the first things I found a long time ago. I was just like, what? The midpoint of Michael Jackson's life was the day that his hair caught on fire on the Pepsi.
That's crazy.
I think this too was when the CEO of Pepsi had moved over to Apple at that point.
Oh, probably. Yeah. Well, this was like this was right after the Big Apple 1984 commercial was.
Dude, good point.
Like the day.
Yeah. So Pepsi takes over Apple, and and Michael Jackson took over Apple Records. There's a fire.
Yeah, it literally happened in '83. John Scully, who was the previous CEO of Pepsi, and then goes on to join Apple, and he gets recruited by Steve Jobs the year before in 1983.
Dude.
And he's the one that was behind the Pepsi Challenge. That's his biggest claim to fame. John Scully's, while he was at Pepsi, he was the Pepsi Challenge guy.
Dude, Pepsi, Soviet military. Can I find that quickly? The time in 1990, Pepsi bought naval ships from the Soviet Union. You know the whole story.
I like how every link on your search results is just always purple. Like you've read every page.
I know. It's like every once in a while my computer's like, error, you have reached the end of the internet. There is no more internet. Pushback. Yeah, pretty much.
You have hit your search limit, bro.
the Pepsi hits. There's the Joan Crawford connection to Pepsi. Joan Crawford is my 237 queen, and she was on the board of Pepsi in her later life. She was actually, when she was in Dallas on 11/22/63, she was there on business with Pepsi, and was there, witnessed the JFK assassination. Joan Crawford. Is that Joan Crawford?
That's Joan Crawford.
Hell yeah.
I mean, like in the flapper period, I mean, I gotta say, there's something wrong with me, and you know it, but I love flappers. There's something about the flapper look that's pretty cool, dude. No, the Roaring 20s, bro. It was a better time.
It's like Amish Max.
I think she's cool. Yeah, I like the idea that the Pepsi, because Pepsi bought a bunch of Soviet military equipment that was surplus.
Not
But
a guy. Shut up.
well, some girls are guys, and it's okay. And it's kind of nice when you meet one that's not. But what's like they bleed either way. The time Pepsi bought the naval ships wasn't surplus though. In 1990, they literally commissioned tankers. So the Russian military made boats specifically for Pepsi, which is pretty crazy. So they had nuclear submarines, nuclear tankers, Kalashnikovs, all sorts of weaponry, so that they could traverse the pirate waters. Because Tom Hanks would later go on to make that movie about Captain Phillips, who turned out to be a total douche.
Where he says 237, come in 237.
Yeah, there's definitely some Kubrick to this, and the whole point of the pirate waters thing too, just like going across waters that are there be dragons in these waters,
There
like
be monsters. Here there be Loch Ness.
Yeah, we're right back to it.
What's the next Tom Hanks movie coming out?
Oh no, I think it was going to come up again because I have a whole theory on this Loch Ness thing.
Yeah, elaborate while I look him up.
Well, I'm not allowed to mention David Koresh for another hour and a half.
No, I don't care. I like David Koresh. I mean, not enough to die for him, but you know what I mean. I think he's cool.
One of the okay, so this is also has to do with Crowley because he mentions
Is the last movie Tom Hanks made hologram for a king?
No,
he hasn't made a movie?
Absolutely not, because he was in the Pinocchio that was newer than that.
Yeah.
No, he was in that one where the camera stays in the same spot, done by Zemeckis.
He's in the Phoenician Scheme too.
Yeah, this is nonsense. Okay, yeah, that's crazy that would be the last thing. Okay, sorry.
Actor upcoming.
Man Called Otto, upcoming.
No, what was that one that was the newest one that made a big splash in the theaters?
Master of the Air.
Mediocre splash in the theater.
Those are all producer. You're in production right now.
Shame on me. Okay, actor. Wait, no. Oh, I gotta close everything else except for actor. Is that the?
It's stupid. You got to click on actor twice.
So weird. Okay, the Phoenician Scheme here.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
He was in The Simpsons last year. Asteroid City. That's another Kubrick kind of vibe.
He plays Stanley Zach.
That's right.
And I did a whole show with Will there about that movie.
Yes,
this is why it's hard to completely hate Tom Hanks. I mean, like, obviously, we made this point the last time, like, just defending Tom Hanks is saying,
but I love you on the island.
It's like exactly.
See?
There it is. That's exactly what it is. It's have to be like, okay, yeah, sure, he was on the island and then he went to Greece for COVID, but that doesn't mean,
He was on the island that anyone talks about.
If you see that scene, actually, that was kind of interesting. The scene right here, he's got a little camera thing, this little flamethrower he's got. Where's he show it again? Show us. No, is it gone? There it is right there. Boom. That thing. Do you see this right here? The triple lens Convas. So it's like a Convas camera. So the Soviet camera.
Is that the thing that projects onto the... No.
Here.
So in real life, the Convas camera was a Soviet camera. I know this for being from Santa Cruz and making films, basically. I always wanted a Convas because you can switch the lenses. It's like a turret machine gun that you can switch between 3 prime lenses if you want to have like a 28 millimeter, a 35, and a 70 or something like that.
Nice.
And yeah, before zooms. But I mean, they use this in that movie you just saw, and they use it in Star Wars. Because if you type in Convas camera Star Wars, you'll remember that scene where they're like in the cantina and they're playing those little instruments. Where these guys right here. Look at, they're playing Convas cameras. They've taken the Convas camera and they just turned it into an instrument.
Oh, that's smooth,
isn't it? Yeah. There is the third one there. You can see him. Boom.
That's worth knowing.
Camera. Isn't that kind of a fun fact? Fun fact.
They should really invert the budgets of movies these days and just force people to
get creative.
$10 million.
Like Be Kind, Rewind. Like all movies would turn into Be Kind, Rewind.
They kind of screwed up like movies with money. I've been thinking about that because of the Ring of Power. Because the Ring of Power probably didn't have to suck. I mean, it's just that they had so much money they were worried about taking risks.
takes
So they were
money.
trying to please. Yeah, like you just have to basically take chances, and then it's not going to suck. Here's here.
This is by Zemeckis, but it has a weird Roger Rabbit or Back to the Future feel to it. Like it's kind of the movie gives you creeps while you watch it because the camera never moves. It just bounces around different time periods, and it's always in the same like house. And sometimes it's
These walls could talk with
no house.
If these walls could talk. Walls could talk with Ellen DeGeneres and
basically.
With what's her name who died? Her girlfriend Anne Hesh. Do you guys remember? It's a sequel actually. If these walls could talk, it's the 1996 movie. You all saw this, of course. I know where my boys are at watching Demi Moore, Sissy Spacek, and Cher. Right?
I don't think I've seen this.
You've never seen this?
I've seen The Witches of Eastwick, but
the women's experiences in each vignette designed to portray the popular views of society on abortion during each of the respective decades. If you didn't see this, you clearly didn't grow up under oppression in Western California.
Oh, no.
I've seen my fair share of Hallmark movies, but no, this one, no.
Oh, this one is basically this is the definitive, this is the design. They've made designs upon us with this movie. And If These Walls Could Talk 2, for all questions not answered, and If These Walls Could Talk 1, like lesbians, for instance, Anne Hesh and Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres tied right back to Tom Hanks.
Lesbian version of Look Who's Talking Now?
Yeah, in a little way, yeah. A little bit.
Look who's not talking now.
Look who's not talking too.
Look who's not talking. Oh. Ouch. What about Freaky Tales? So we brought this up.
I just downloaded this here.
Another Pedro movie. Jesus.
Oh God, dude! Pedro shouldn't be allowed to make movies unless they're just. If he just stuck to gay porn where he belongs.
Stay with gay porn, Pedro.
Speaking of which, this is kind of funny because you guys remember my thing where I said Fantastic Four is gay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Fantastic Four. Let me see if I can find.
That's actually part of their marketing campaign. That you're not even announcing anything new there.
Nope.
No, I know.
They come from the gay universe.
Weird.
Oh, Fantastic Four. Do I have to type this? What do I have to do? Can't even find it at this point.
You can't find anything on this site. It's pathetic.
You have to do advanced search filters. Search settings.
Advanced search.
For the love of God.
Go back
Advanced
to
search. Okay.
This exact phrase. Right there you go.
I don't think it's gonna work though, because what if I didn't say it exactly like that? You know what I mean? From these accounts, let's try that. I think I said has always been gay. So close. It was like, and hey, look, no one else saw this. Basically, Lord of the Rings is all about how Samwise was in college. I think Mordor was college. And then he got lonely there, and then he ends up with a family, and then Frodo can't handle it, and he leaves him for the Undying World or something like that.
That's what happens after Toy Soldiers.
Kind of gay, flamer, anything? Why would they make it hard to find? Basically, I can just say it, I guess. Fantastic Four has always been kind of gay. It's about a literal flamer, a rock hard man, and a dude whose body parts all stretched.
The rock hard man is called The Thing.
And the chick is invisible.
She's only invisible. Exactly. It's it's clearly always been gay.
She lives in Canada.
I'm justified in my lifelong aversion to these superheroes. Even though I love DC, and I've never cared for the Fantastic Four, and I don't really know why until
because it's a time period thing. If you were born into the 70s, you've probably been introduced to pop culture.
I don't like a lot of homoerotic media.
But if you like Fortnite, right? Everybody loves Fortnite. All grown men love Fortnite, and you can now get the Fantastic Four skins.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Use your V-Bucks to get the Fantastic Four skins before it's too late. I mean,
foreskin.
I feel like there's just I can't even control this. You know what I mean? The world is just the more I try to point it out, the more the world tries to point itself out. It's just really...
I have to just say, if anyone doesn't like Fantastic Four, there's one in particular. There was a graphic novel by Alex Ross called Full Circle. That's kind of like basic bitch to even recommend this in like the comic world, but I highly recommend at least looking at Alex Ross's Full Circle before you absolutely write Fantastic Four off completely forever.
Well, Alex Ross does it different. Alex Ross actually has like the statuettes of the characters, and so they look the exact same. It's like really highbrow stuff. But Fantastic Four didn't technically start out as highbrow.
You're right, but I think it's the Fantastic Four, just like almost all these huge mainstream comics, each individually represent their own medium. Like it's not just a comic book medium, it's a Fantastic Four comic book medium, and then artists can come in and like show how they would work within this medium of this comic on this paper.
For sure.
And while you know, X-Men gets a lot of credit for the mythology is created, Spider-Man even I think if you really root it down to the nitty-gritty, Fantastic Four is where
this is the Big Bang of the Marvel.
That's where everything comes from. The whole everything comes out of the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four defines the Marvel universe, the multiverse, all of it, right?
Yeah.
I think it comes out of that. So you have to give him some credit. Even though he did, like, dude, he literally has a mushroom tip head.
And it's never translated well to movies for some reason.
No, I don't think so. I didn't hate the one from like 20 years ago though. For
the one where they told Jessica Alba to cry pretty.
Yeah, this wasn't.
I don't think that was ever released. That was in the 90s. If you go back and you look at like Fantastic Four 90s movie, you'll see some stills that look complete camp. It almost looks like if I remember, it looks like the Batman TV show almost.
What about like Jessica Alba in the secret world of Alex Mack?
Right? I used to love that show.
It's the best show ever.
She was basically a Marvel character just by any other name.
Her name was Jessica in the show. It was like she already is the superhero. And wasn't she like kidnapped as a kid on the set of the Dolphin show, Flipper? Flipper kidnapped.
Right, yeah, you're absolutely right.
She was kidnapped and never talked about it, what happened, but she was thrown in the back of a trunk and she was carried off. You never heard about this? It's totally crazy. 1996, kidnapped while filming Flipper, disappeared for 14 hours. Was found blindfolded, bound, and gagged in a car trunk miles away from the filming location.
Purple links again. That's interesting.
These are things I think about a little bit. Yeah, I was admitting, like, okay, for sure. All right, but yeah, it's crazy.
On PETA.
I mean, it's pretty wild stuff. I don't know. And then like, what's his name? Like David Mack, comic artist. Better than Alex Ross is David Mack, right? David Mack is the best comic artist.
Well, okay.
You don't think he's the best? I honestly think that what sets David Mack apart is his complete, utter, latching onto artistic style. His watercolor work is just freaking incredible. Look at his Daredevil stuff. How do you paint for a blind man? Like, I think it's amazing stuff. And then also Justice. Kabuki is pretty good too. Kabuki's a little buffy for some of you, but his Justice series was so good. Like, I mean, don't you want to see watercolor Batman? Is this too dated now? To me, I think it's like some of the most. I mean, if you're gonna physically own a comic,
we need to get you to bed, Grandpa.
Okay. All right, that's it.
Is there like an animated version of this that's an NFT, or does it just stay like?
Kids these days, dude, I'm telling you. What about the Phoenician scheme? You brought this up, or did this just come up because
Those came up because it's the most recent movie that Tom Hanks is credited in.
Dude, the one eye?
I haven't seen it yet. I wish I could.
I'll have to watch it just because of the one eye. See, they try to tell you, they're like, look, this movie is for you. Look at all the sacred geometry and the satanic symbolism.
Asteroid City was for me. Like, it was there for everybody, of course. But when I was watching it, I was like, no, this is made for me. So it might have just been for me. So I think this one might be as well, but
just looks like it's made for me.
Maybe it's for you.
Yeah, it's got a
skull. Or it's actually allowed to say it's for Miles Mathis because he talks about the Phoenicians all the time. But you could also say it's for Webster Tarpley or any of these people.
Pretty good. I liked Hologram for a King. I thought that was pretty deep. It was like clearly over the head of everyone else, but this movie seemed good. Did you see this
when,
one?
when this movie came
I
out,
did
I was literally working at a company that made software for 5-star hotels across the world to like adjust like the heat of your hot tub that's in your room while you're like in the
Nice.
bathroom and stuff in the other room. And a lot of our clients were these kind of guys. There was this one job in particular where they were like, we'll just fly to have you guys come and just like work on site. And I had already seen this movie. And I was like, that's okay. Like we're gonna stay here and work remote because I don't want to end up getting basically kidnapped and you don't even know if you're ever gonna leave at that point.
You missed out. Like, look how beautiful like these ghost cities are. I mean, there's nowhere I want to be more than a place where no one's at. So like a giant, especially a big place built, like I need a lot of room, you know, like I'm like an old school American. I want like 50 acres of elbow room on either side. So a place that looks like it's built for millions of people and it's just empty, but it's not even finished yet. That just seems, that's like who wants to be in a line at Disneyland? Don't you rather have one of these experiences? It seems pretty great to me.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That Masonic architecture, that was like, it's pretty good. I don't know. Maybe the movie,
I would
maybe
like my
I'm wrong.
surroundings to reflect the emptiness that is within me.
It does feel pretty real. And then, hold on, Will pulled me up. Remembering the first Fantastic Four movie? Yeah, that's right. This one that no one remembers.
Now, who directed this?
Roger Corman.
I don't think it ever saw the light of day. It's hard to find.
Corman.
Produced by 1986.
Here we go.
The Never-Ending
Tim
Story.
Tim Story.
Best known
Story did this.
producing The Never-Ending Story and The Name of the Rose.
Tim Story.
There's no
Crazy.
way it was worse than the first Punisher.
Yeah.
Wait, this guy did it?
No, that movie was great.
No,
It was
Tim
one of
Story
those
directed
things
the
where
other one.
It wasn't the
With
movie
Dolph
that it was.
Lundgren? Dolph Lundgren's Punisher? Be still thy mouth, fool.
The movie was never released officially, so we need to get a copy of it. Have you seen it? Like, well,
No, I only remember that picture.
Oh wow!
It was like this thing that once the first movie came out, they were like, "Whoa, this isn't the first one." And you're like, what is this?"
I just was reading the page for that thing. I think it's it, and it says in popular culture, and it says in 2013, a main story arc in the 4th season of the television series Arrested Development concerned the character Tobias Funke's attempt to stage a musical based on the Fantastic Four. Now that's fucking hilarious because Tobias is like the gay guy on the show, and he's just a total nerd.
Fantastic.
And so he wants to stage
Thanks
a
for
musical based on the
asking.
Fantastic Four,
Oh,
which I didn't even watch that because it was unwatchable. The 4th season.
dude, here's
Arrested
the
Development.
whole movie. We could watch the whole movie on archive.org. Not good quality. I'm gonna leave it up to my friends and comrades to find us a better copy of this. So I'm sure this can't be the only released copy, but geez, dude. There's like actually it exists. We can see it. Unreleased English language German superhero movie, right? Because Reed Richards and who is this directed by? Oli Sassoni. There we go.
Some guy
Oh, from New Orleans. What? He's not even from Germany. I guess the producer, though, right? That was the point, because Never-Ending Story. So it has to be kind of good. It has to be kind of interesting. Must just be like out of control.
Was watching.
They probably, yeah, they're hiding things. Base Kothar, $10, just to be pretty. Thank you.
It's funny that we're getting Dr. Doom. So as Robert Downey Jr. is becoming Dr. Doom. Okay, he used to be Tony. It's becoming like a Malkovichian sort of. There's just one guy, and he's everybody.
Iron Doom.
And then maybe it could also reflect like he's Tony. So Tony in The Shining it reflects a split personality.
Yeah.
So like now there's a new like a Tony version of Tony Stark, like. Dark version. I don't know what's going on. I mean, there was a lot of Shining stuff in there. Like when I like one of my favorite parts of Endgame is when Doctor Strange is like doing his whole shooting in the future, looking into the future, and then he figures out and he does the Danny doing the Tony thing, and that's his communicating to Tony that there's only one way of getting through this, and that's like I don't know. There's just weird reflections of The Shining and everything. Who knows if it's intentional?
Where the
It's
hell's
raining
David
out.
at?
He works now. You know what? His
I mean, me too. I'm at work right now. You don't see me not working.
He's literally physically working though. He doesn't
Okay.
just lie there and like click return. You know,
I do it with my feet.
He's got to stretch his canvas over, like too much, like too little butter over too much bread.
All right, dropping another link here. This is
Okay.
going back to Ozzy though. This was Ozzy's midpoint again. This is interesting. This is Orson Welles' last feature role.
Interesting.
I'm surprised we didn't at least get the Human Torch David Koresh link going. So there, I said it, and we can move on.
Fire on. Flame on.
Flame on,
dude.
Well, hey, that's interesting because there is a quote of somebody saying he called for fire. Not that he started the fire, but that he called from fire from God. And they were saying that there were fireballs that they witnessed go through the hallways.
Mm-hmm. What are they called? The flaming meteorites, the ones that spin and go different directions. We're supposed to pretend are not UFOs, essentially. Fireball meteorites.
Yeah, the ones that have stuff falling off of them, you mean?
Well, no. So a fireball meteorite is a meteorite that's about, it can be anywhere about the size of a football or something like that. And when it comes out, it zips around in different directions, right? So it can literally fly in front of you and then go through your living room. And some people are saying, hey, a UFO, an alien has been in my house, a giant flying, burning, this, like a biblical apocalyptic UFO thing. And then they say, no, what you experienced was swamp gas reflective over, what you actually saw was a meteorite. It was just a fireball meteorite, which can spin in different directions as it flies, right? So that's all it was. Go back to sleep. But yeah, Someone to Love. This was a cool movie. I always liked this one. Yeah, for sure. I've seen all of anything with Orson Welles I could get my hands on. Yeah, really. It's chill. It's not like his movie. It's just kind of a. It's just kind of like a. Yeah,
isn't that the fish sticks guy?
The fish sticks guy. Do I not get that reference?
The fish sticks guy.
Was it the commercial that he's?
No,
I learned originally about Orson Welles through the critics making fun of him in the fish stick commercial, and then I realized that he made movies after that.
Gotcha. Sally Kellerman, she's in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
6/2/37. She's born. She's kind of figures heavily in my world. Brewster McCloud.
She has a likability factor that's pretty high.
Altman.
Ray Bradbury Theater. Solid. Anything with Goldblum. 56526 5626. How would you read that number if you chose?
65. I don't know.
I would read it 5626 because the way that they put it out, like they want you to kind of spiral.
You could even do 5. Isn't the 5 DVD thing? Is a 5, 6, 5. Too many.
True. 5x5.
The big bus. She's in the big bus. She's the big bus is that's the one that has
yuppies.
That's the one that has a character named Dan Torrance talking about the number 237 and cannibalism, all in a movie released before The Shining was even published as a book. And so, Sally Kellerman's in that.
Jay says a fireball meteorite flew through upstate South Carolina and crashed into someone's attic in Georgia. Supposedly maybe back in May or early June.
That was the message that I got from Sybil Hunter. She saw the fireball because she's a sync head that's down there in Atlanta. Now, I told her that equates. I think of Will Smith when I think of fireballs like that because there's multiple movies in which he's depicted with fireworks as being some sort of celestial event, like an Independence Day, whenever all of the alien spaceships come down and he's like, there's your fireworks, boys. And if I remember correctly, that's when that fireball happened. It happened real close to the 4th of July.
Didn't Will Smith what do you think really is the thing that destroyed Will Smith's career?
Oh, the
Scientology?
other one was Men in
What?
Black.
I think it's the fact that he didn't do Independence Day Resurgence.
Well,
in
I don't
2016.
know. That movie sucked. He was.
It would have been great if he was in it. Like,
It wouldn't have
those-
been great if he was in it, though. It
It's
would have
got
been
everybody.
just
It's got Liam Helmsworth. No, I'm just kidding. But
It
Jeff
needed
Goldblum
a
made
script.
it.
It was.
It was a money grab.
Bill Pullman. I was just looking at him. Why? Because he was born. Well, I'm not going to say.
His son is Sentry.
No, go ahead. Does it have to do with Hitler? I'm listening.
This probably does.
His son
Nice.
is the
Oh,
Sentry
it's something completely unrelated, really.
in
Well, not-
Marvel, who was just revealed in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman's in Thunderbolts. What?
His son, Bill Pullman's, is Sentry from Thunderbolt.
Oh, yeah. His son is Lewis Pullman. I never would have got that. That's funny. Dude, they sort of like, ancestrally fail upwards in this, which is crazy.
If you were asking before about where Will Smith went wrong, I feel like you could plot out Scientology actors and like their trajectories, and it goes like Tom Cruise at the top. This is how you do it the correct way. Then you've got Will Smith in the middle, and then you've got John Travolta at like the far end. In terms of once you go clear OT 50 or whatever it is, like these are the different levels that you can attain to. So like Will Smith is
John
not
Travolta
quite
didn't
as
care
bad
anymore.
as Travolta, but he's nowhere near Tom Cruise.
Travolta just stopped caring. He's like, I got everything I wanted. I've got the private jet. I have the pilot's license now. I have my island. He had to sacrifice his son. Maybe I'm not saying he did. I'm just, And
I mean, that's honestly probably what's holding Will Smith back, right? Is that he can't not care. He has to now set up his dynasty, which is kind of a little bit of a burden. John Travolta doesn't have that burden.
It's true. Did you
Tom
see John
Cruise
Travolta?
Will Smith's biggest sync threads is his sunglasses. The sunglasses are kind of like this way of seeing through the veil, or like all of a sudden he's no longer in the same reality. Like it switches reality. Of course,
protects him from the neuralizer, right?
Right. But it's also in the Wild Wild West. He wears sunglasses in a time period where they haven't even been invented. And then in Hitchcock, he actually uses them as the mask for his superhero costume. But I was just right.
Maybe They Live.
Did you see John Travolta?
There's They Live. There's Free Guy with the Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, where all of the superheroes have the sunglasses on, and then they're called the sunglasses characters. Yeah, and there's a bunch because I fed it into AI. I think I have it up right here on my chat bot. Like there's a whole bunch of them. It talked about the same eye cover as far as Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool. And you can see the same relationship between the glasses and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. And then that's passed on to the same thing as far as like Spider-Man goes. He passes those glasses on to Spider-Man. But Spider-Man's got the same coverings as Deadpool. And so there's sort of this idea. It's kind of a depiction of, that's perfect with the because that's not really there. That mask isn't really there. That's like a blue screen, but that's perfect. That illustrates the whole point. If you mix that with Free Guy, and if you mix that with stuff like the Nines with Ryan Reynolds, of course, Deadpool. But it's like a sign of like higher intelligence, or like it's been associated to gray eyes, like the almond-shaped eyes of the Greys.
He does have gray eyes. Look at that. They're all gray.
Oh, it didn't catch on to the Green Lantern thing in this thing that I did with Chatbot, but it definitely caught on to his relationship with Deadpool being related.
Dude, the Green Lantern thing is totally a missed opportunity. I thought that wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't like super great, but it still was, it's like everything is 5 years ago, things were better. 10 years ago, things were even better than that.
Have you seen the new Superman?
No, I haven't, but you brought this up. Yeah, I thought you said it was
opinion.
Super Cancer.
Well, no, I meant kind of a
explain because it's crazy.
Oh yeah, well, I wish I could find the damn tweet. Another instance of not being able to find something on there, but it's just like every single actor in this movie is born in early July. They're like all cancers,
Crazy,
the astrological cancers. Corin Sweat, Rachel Brosnahan, the guy who plays Jimmy Olsen, and several more. I can't remember, but I just thought that
What
was
would you
interesting.
attribute
Isn't it
that
all
to?
released? The movie itself released in cancer
Does the
as well.
movie relate to the traits of Cancer?
Well, you'd have to ask somebody who knows astrology better, because I still don't really know. Let's talk. What are the traits of Cancer? Probably. James Gunn is a Leo, by the way, the director. So he's close, but
I saw that.
I mean, that's literally James Gunn is on the right, and the rest of the cast is on the left. And I wonder, I mean, if that's him or if that's just a.
I mean, I guess is it the isolation aspect, right? Superman's kind of like isolated,
Watery,
and shell, the
frozen.
The Fortress of Solitude would basically be exactly that. The Fortress of Solitude would be the crab's shell, so to speak.
True.
I think it's also that Superman was created before Israel is a big thing, because I mean, this is pre and post Zionist Superman, because the first Superman is clearly not, he's an Ubermensch, but he's not Captain America. He's not this like blonde Goyim Superman. You know, he's very much a Jewish Superman. That's clearly what they're going for. But it's a Jewish Superman from an America when everyone's living in America or the world, right? But it's after the pogroms and after the destruction of, after the destruction of Israel, which is a dramatic dramatization of the destruction of Israel. But Superman doesn't have an Israel, he doesn't have a Krypton to go back to, right? Like, so this is why the Fortress of Solitude and everything like that. There's this idea that Superman is definitely not ever going to return to Krypton again. And so
disavow his parents in this movie in favor of his Earth parents when he learns that the message, their intention, like they were thought. Well, I don't want to give too much spoilers, but
we're spoiler friendly here, I think. But go ahead.
Well, he basically gets to Earth. The message from his parents is damaged in transit, so he doesn't have the whole thing. But then they figure out that the second part of it, they say something like, "Go to the planet and breed with all the women," and
he's a descended angel
because you were the Uberman, and then that gets out to the world, to Earth, and everybody's like, "Oh, fuck Superman!" And then so by the end of it, he's basically replaced the idea of his parents being from Krypton with his Kansas farmer.
It's I've heard this related to Box Saga before, that Superman essentially represented the same premise of Box Saga, where you contain all the different genetic information of all the different people, and that now it's up to you to like repopulate that.
Yeah, that's
but like literally like Genesis 6, like the Adonai Elohim. See, this is the thing, we get this like weird Stargate mistranslation thing going on. Like, why are they saying fallen angels when they mean the descended sons of God, right? Because it says the Adonai Elohim, the sons of God, descended. So they say, okay, it's a fallen angel, right? Which is not what it translates to. But so here are the sons of God, who are the chosen people, the Adamic, if Adam is God or something like that, and then here they've got, or the sons of God, here is his bloodline on the earth. And they don't have Israel when they create Superman. So America is the place they have to protect, because it's a place that allows for the proliferation of Kryptonian values or American values, Masonic values. Captain Shazam, which was neither DC or Marvel originally, to be fair. So they both kind of had a cultural heritage from the Masonic Captain Shazam. And now you have Israel, and particularly right now for the last year or two, you have a lot of criticism of Israel from Hollywood, from Iranian Jews, from American Jews that are critical of Israel as well. Like this pro-Palestine movement is, there's a lot of Jews that are critical of Israel. Like David, for one. And so here this movie comes out where Superman has to disavow his own legacy, religious ideology, and values. Right, the values were to replace the Holy Land, and now he can't do that. Like, it's something he's not supposed to do, and instead he's supposed to proliferate the American values, which are Masonic values, which are Kabbalistic values, which only exist because of Jews, but at the same time Jews were in Exodus twice, Talmudic Jews, and then post-Christ, in the Europe, in Hellenistic Jews. So you have really the mystery schools generally couldn't have. It's like there's like the one thing that maybe ties them all together is the nomadic Jews went through all that, but it doesn't mean that these are just Jewish ideas. Like Hellenistic ideas are decidedly different. Sumerian and Persian ideas are decidedly different. And there's sort of a synthesis going on. So the Masonic synthesis, that's replacing the Zionist value because it's national socialism versus international socialism. It's, 2001 A Space Odyssey versus Das Boot, maybe.
It's a Phoenician scheme, Phoenician ideas. And
that
is an interesting correlation, the fact that the Phoenician scheme came out next to Superman. But
there's got to be a thing there. That's got to be what it's about.
What did
Phoenician scheme?
And on Tom Hanks' birthday, well, not quite, but just this period of time is very, very. We just came through it. This first part of July is like really potent, as you probably noticed. A lot of stuff, like just anniversaries, and I'm just sort of every year that goes by, like each anniversary gets more charged with like synchronistic material that you can kind of connect, and things are becoming very clear.
Some weird stuff.
The guy I wanted to bring up, the new Green Lantern guy, the guy that Nathan Fillion plays. His name is Guy. Wait, it's a Guy Gardner, I think. And his haircut.
Yeah,
particularly his haircut.
He's always had a goofy haircut.
Oh, his character has?
Yes.
Okay, so that's nothing. That's comics. It's kind of Trumpian, actually. It looks like Trump hair, maybe.
I mean, someone made a decision at some point. This didn't just like, oh, well, his hair was like. I mean, this went through multiple channels of decision making.
Yeah, it fits with his character. He's very like kind of fancy and persnickety, but I don't know. I have nothing to say, really.
Crazy. I don't know. So the Superman movie you think is worth watching, but it also seems highly politicized.
I think it's worth watching. It's really well made. That's as much as I can really tell you.
I don't think I've seen a Superman movie I didn't at least enjoy watching once.
I got really sick of like the Zack Snyder, the dreariness, the lack of color. My favorite Superman is the cartoon, which is just like
the 30s one, or
completely different character from what
the Fleischer cartoon, or
no, the 90s, the 90s cartoon. I'm sorry, the 90s.
I love Max Fleischer because it's like Chad. He's super Chad character.
Different. I mean, it's very similar, but it's just updated. It's more true to that original idea of the character. The Boy Scout, the guy flying around, he's saving squirrels in the middle of a huge fight, and it's like I laughed so hard at that because it's just like so absurd. But that's like what Superman kind of is. He's just totally naive, like
raised by Goyim,
save all the squirrels,
raised by Christians from Kansas.
Right. Which and I like their representation. Like they are extremely like it's Pruitt Taylor Vince, who you might recognize from various tiny roles. He's a guy with astigmatism. He's a big bald guy. His eyes are like cracking around, and he's very emotional, a big softie, and his mom is like, "Oh, Clark, what are you doing? Clark, come on back to the script." It's very different from again the Amy, like the cosmopolitan idea of like the Midwest of Kevin Costner and whatever we got. So
if we had Superman, we would have never lost Peanut the squirrel, bro.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Smallville's pretty weird, right? Like not just for its ties to Nexium, but that's a big part of it. But I felt like Smallville is kind of a weirdly underrated.
Well, Smallville too, I think, was a lot of kids' entry point into conspiracies through Allison Mack.
Oh yeah,
it was Chloe Sylvan, and she had a school newspaper, and she had this thing called the Wall of Weird, and that was where she was tracking all of these weird conspiracy theories, and everyone was like, "Oh, Chloe, you're off on another conspiracy theory again." But everything on that wall was something that was actually happening in Smallville. So I think that she actually promoted, like she made conspiracy theories more credible up until Nexium. And I feel that might even be part of the Nexium downfall, was that someone needed to discredit conspiracy theories in general using Chloe Sullivan as a proxy.
Dude, did you see John Travolta in the Grease reunion recently? He looks like, he's doing a lot better or something. I don't know. Because he was this bald freak, and now he's like, no offense to all our bald friends in beanies, but like,
he's coming back for Pulp Fiction too.
He really should. That'd be great. Should make that movie.
What was the movie with Fred Durst again that he was in?
Oh, that was so good. The Fan or something? What's it called?
I feel
Fanatic.
like the Fanatic. He should just stick with this character and then go back and revisit his other franchises as Fanatic.
Which is another tie to Lord of the Rings because he loses his finger and it's like the same because his hand gets blown off by the guy, right?
He's got the same haircut as
as the Green Lantern. Yeah, totally.
Fantastic. The Fanatic 4.
Did you guys,
The Fanatic 4.
The Fanatic 4. This is a pretty good movie.
He's got the same haircut as
He's the Green Lantern.
Pretty close.
It's a pretty good movie. I think
one
that
of
one's
those
pretty good.
days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks.
So that's directed by Fred Durst.
You don't
What do you guys
really
think
know
about?
why, but you want to justify.
July 23rd premiere.
So, well, allegedly, right? Is that confirmed again? Because
That's what it says on the bio there.
July 23rd for real this time. Don't break my heart. That means that tomorrow it really is going to happen. You know what was going on, right? Because Skydance purchased Paramount, and they were going around. Skydance was trying to interfere with South Park Studios' deal because South Park's one of the first shows to ever stream. It was streaming like 20 years ago. So back then no one watched streaming, so they were like the first on there. Like you get 50% or some crazy amount. Like basically every other show gets like 10 or 5 or 3 or 1% or nothing because like you'll get what you're told you get. But South Park is the one show that they get a lot of money for their streaming, way more than any other show gets. And Skydance didn't like that, but the other channels have to deal with it. So they made a deal for Netflix in Britain, but now Netflix wants them in America. And they have a deal with HBO and they had a deal with Paramount. So they had like specials on one and the episodes on the other while they were figuring it out. And Paramount and HBO are suing each other for the last 5 years, basically. Because like 2020 was COVID. They only made like 3 episodes or 2 episodes one season. And like they had some specials during COVID, but generally they weren't making, not 20 episodes, not even 10 episodes. They started making like less and less. So then they recently were dealing with Skydance saying, hey, don't make any deals with South Park Studios. They're our bitch. And then South Park was like, dude, cease and desist. If you try to stop, if you meddle with our contracts, then we're going to renege on any contract that we have with you. We're not going to release any of your shows, which put them in a pretty powerful position because, there was a ton of episodes that Paramount was going to remove because they thought they were, anti-Semitic or racist or against transgender people, which is like the whole point of South Park. And if you take away some of their episodes, you set a bad precedent. So they made in the contract, you will have all of those episodes. You'll take them and you'll like them. And granted, they're going to make more money off of it. And it shouldn't be said that they're not more interested in money than ethics, these giant conglomerated studios. But it'd be really nice to know that if they really do air, because they were going to air on the 8th this month. And at least, for a week there, they were taken completely off of Paramount, which looked like they were maybe Paramount, with Skydance doesn't want to deal with them anymore. So I'm not even sure what's going to happen with South Park. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Clearly they've made a bunch of episodes already.
Somebody make the comment that like, oh, they canceled Colbert, took all that money and gave it to South Park. I don't know if that has any bearing in truth, but
I hope that's true.
People are kind of like happy that contrast.
Colbert.
I'm sure that like all of Stephen Colbert's 7 fans are really upset that he got. You know what I mean? There's like at least 3 like vegan guys, and then a couple lesbians, and then like one alcoholic 40-year-old lady from Atlanta who loves Stephen Colbert.
No one but himself to blame.
He was one of my absolute like biggest inspirations / heroes growing up. Colbert and Jon Stewart. Like by far, I wouldn't have even gotten into
Well,
comics without
Do you feel like
the
they've
two of them.
divulged now, or are you still a
I think they're better than ever. They've never been this great.
You clearly didn't take enough acid when you were young to like see their inner demons in their eyes and run away from the television screen.
I was gonna say I watched him Colbert Report on mushrooms one time, and I was like, okay, he's an alien.
Yeah, clear, same. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Allegedly,
I would say I watched them too much when I was young because I remember Jon Stewart's transition from like telling me what was happening in the world on MTV into becoming like what's happening in the world on Comedy Central.
The first season or 2 seasons of Comedy Central were fine, but once they realized they had such power with a show that was about fake news, that was like, because the suspension of disbelief is different when you go into something knowing it's fake. Then you're okay with it on this weird level. And by season 4, it's not any better than, in my opinion, the Noah guys show, because like it literally becomes a preaching phenomenon where they are preach. It's very much like who's the British guy?
It's Snark.
John Oliver.
Yeah, it's like John Oliver. It's just straight up. They're like, this is silly. Ha ha ha. Let's all laugh at them. Ha ha ha. And now let me explain to you the ethical position. And here I sound British, so you have to like listen to me because I'm the kind of guy who gets you to buy Orbit's gum.
Yeah, like I'm smart because I have a British accent.
Well, he also, I think John Oliver, he became a meat space boomer version of like when you rile up a big crowd online, right? And you get someone to just like flood with complaints to a certain outlook. He kind of was doing that with his entire audience. What happened?
I'm still here. I just felt like there was a good moment here for this.
Okay. Here's more Ozzy.
Hungry Ozzy. This just reminds me of every time I see oranges, I think of Trading Places, and because they're trading orange juice futures at the World Trade Center, and on a whim, I was like, well, when did Trading Places come out, and how long did it come out before Ozzy's big concert? And it's very close to the Wonka span that I talk about all the time. And that's really weird because Trading Places is one of the most synchronistic movies like ever made. So
it's a beautiful movie. And again, America, Freedom to Fascism, Aaron Russo.
Yeah.
Clearly one of the movies where they're like, we've got to be careful because this is so deep. We better make sure that we try to make it approachable for even 5-year-olds. We need to make or 50-year-olds more difficult ever.
Yeah.
Let's make a movie that like normal people can watch this movie and not even recognize it's about the Coppola until they are old enough to see what's going on. It's the House of Orange, I think, is the thing for sure.
And I mean it's the great moment where they're walking next to the World Trade Center, into the World Trade Center, and Aykroyd is saying, nothing can prepare you for the carnage you are about to witness. And then they go inside and they're trading orange juice futures, and that connects it to the Supertramp 9/11 predictive programming cover, Breakfast in America, because the stewardess is holding a cup of orange juice right at the Twin Towers in the drawing. 9/11 with the 9/11 in reverse.
Which album again is it?
Breakfast in America.
Supertramp.
Yeah, Supertramp for sure.
So orange juice. I mean, orange juice. If you read about everybody, Breakfast in America, because that's what 9/11 was. We were all having breakfast when this happened. And I was reading a book about Flight 93, and one of the details is like they're talking about the passengers, and it says so and so was drinking a glass of orange juice as the plane was getting to Rio. It's like, how the fuck do they know that? But they just assume because orange juice. I assume that it's just a symbol, it's
because it's part of this complete breakfast.
And then I also think
and the House of Orange. I think the House of Orange is associated with Rockefeller, right?
And thermite, molten metal, the orange fire that engulfed the towers. I think is my opinion.
The Kikuit estate, right in Terrytown, right, and its whole thing with the oranges and everything like that.
OJ
Simpson. God.
juice.
Dude, House of Orange though, Orange of Nassau, right? There's definitely, I mean, because of Walt Disney, Orange County, Los Angeles for Anaheim for Disneyland, and Orange County, Florida for Disney World. The Principality of Orange. Orange Man Bad.
And
Orange
I don't
Man
know
is
if Donald
bad.
Trump is actually related to the House of Orange, but he is.
But he definitely like dyed his hair orange. That's what's crazy.
Orange.
Like he isn't that orange.
So what
But
is
he
it with
made
haircuts today?
Something about the
I mean,
hair.
if you go back and you look at Guy Gardner's earlier depictions in comic books, it's kind of looking like that picture you just showed of Trump.
True. He's Orange Man Bad.
Is it also like a
he's Guy
circumcision?
Gardner.
I'm sorry. Is it like a foreskin kind of?
Is the
I
mushroom
guess there
tip
is
again?
like there's a
Sega
color
mushroom.
differential there, right? Because the green doesn't go with orange, so him having red hair is kind of in stark color contrast.
Still my heart,
dude. The Sega mushroom tip.
Nice. I had the 32X as a kid. And that was some sweet stuff.
I had the straight 32 as well. The heterosexual 32, as we called it growing up. But the other thing that the orange is in Tron. The digitization.
And also the Ninth Gate too, and there's tons of movies that have this symbolism, but The Godfather being like one of the most famous movies that has oranges as a key symbol. But the Ninth Gate, they do it too. And it's related to fire, I think, too. And it's just the fire sacrifice that ends.
Oh, there is. I totally forgot. That's really weird. That's a huge thing. They're eating from the House of Orange.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh man, I love it. Every time it gets me out of this.
The oranges.
I love it more. Oh, it's so insane.
It's deep.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good.
That doesn't make any sense otherwise.
I mean, there's definitely there's something to that for sure. That's pretty cool.
Forever Young, which is one of J.J. Abrams' like first scripts with Mel Gibson and another one of his movies where he's teaching somebody how to fly. His wife is hit by a truck full of oranges and they go like scattering across the street.
Yeah. And he's frozen in time. He becomes a time traveler. He gets frozen and wakes up in the future.
Right.
I love that movie.
Is this the scene?
Because it has a very similar scene that's in Back to the Future when Marty goes back. He comes running out and he sees the helicopter, and there's
1992 maybe
immediate response from the crowd of all of a sudden they know they're in the 80s. But the same thing happens in Forever Young when he wakes up. He's out on a phone but of course there's all of these black helicopters and everything that go throughout Mel Gibson's,
which brings it right back to Trading Places.
Yeah, good point. I forgot she's in that. She's the mom.
Oh, she's in Trading Places too. So
in Freaky Friday, the remake.
But that's at least two good strong oranges with her.
I bet you if we watch the new Freaky Friday, Breakfast, 2003, dude, Halloween for sure. They're definitely. But I feel like there's like an orange juice. I vaguely have to rewatch it now.
There's another one coming out.
Oh, and she's wearing the Nicholson tartan from the Boleskine house. Oh God, bro. God.
I think my parents also have a tablecloth from the Boleskine house. If that's how we're gonna play that.
Let's talk about Orange again.
There's a Freaky where she's old and then they've got a daughter. There's a part 2 to Freaky Friday coming out.
Yeah,
I just saw the preview.
Yeah, I want it to be. It's gonna be called like Scary Saturday or Strange Saturday, Freakier Friday. So it's next week.
Strange Saturday.
I mean, because I feel like if you ever saw the original Freaky Friday with Jodie Foster. 1970s.
I have this whole Lindsay Lohan thing is the girl in the polka dot dress that is the one who triggers Sirhan into killing Robert F. Kennedy.
Dude, Jodie Foster for sure with Silence of the Lambs, but also the entire makeup of the original Freaky Friday is occult overtones every direction, and
it's
the relationship
ultra weirdness, bro.
The frisbee is MK Ultra weirdness, and also the idea of having an altar and having someone else in your body and doing the manifestation of that because it's a Stanislavski method. So they're both playing each other. So they have to study each other while the other is becoming the other character. So who gets to do that first? And it ends with the son and the father saying that they're going to switch. And so that's really, how Kabbalistic is that? The son and the father are going to switch.
13-year-olds too.
You've got the mother and the daughter, which is Sophia and Mary, but the son and the father, so Christ and Yahweh, this idea of the Elohim, back for Sabbath, for from Friday to Saturday. So there's some pretty interesting Kabbalistic stuff. I wish David was there.
So Freaky Friday, Jodie Foster should probably be matched with Taxi Driver then, because Jodie Foster actually plays the trigger for the taxi driver in that movie. So there's a whole relationship of this whole like doubling yourself to be an assassin or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you have you're two different people. There's you, and then there's the shooter.
So Sean Astin's dad is in Freaky Friday '76. Did you know that? John Astin is the dad in Freaky Friday.
Dude, interesting. I
And,
never.
What was the male version of this one where they both have like their hand on the skull on like a train or something?
How did it happen? You're saying like what's the?
No, there was like the male version of Freaky Friday where it was like the dad and his son, or like a kid and like an older guy, and they get their hand on the skull.
With the Bruce Willis, the kid.
Was it Bruce Willis? I don't think it was Bruce Willis, was it?
Well, there's one that's kind of like that, where he switches places with his younger self, or maybe
vice versa. Is that it? I think it's vice versa with Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage.
My name is Judge.
Ooh, this is
Oh yeah, wait, now who did this one?
I never saw this one.
Like the boy Freaky Friday.
With Cocaine Reinhold? That's crazy. Yeah, it's sad that the judge had to tell Judge Reinhold to quit cocaine, and he still did it. I think that's what's great about
it. It's pure cocaine.
Dude. And it has is that from Princess Bride? What's his name?
Fred Savage.
Fred Savage.
Fred Savage.
Wonder Years.
Savage.
Crazy. Dude, that's insane. Oh my god, I have to see this. I can't believe I missed this one.
You've never seen that? Oh man, I don't want to even talk about it. It's still good.
Oh. Okay, I will watch this because it's got to be better than Tom Hanks and Big. I can already tell. This is my movie right here. Something special.
Also in
Malcolm in the Middle.
For the record, just in Freaky Friday 1976, also has Marie Windsor in it, who is a Kubrick. She's in a lot of things, but she's in Kubrick's The Killing, and she plays Mrs. Murphy in Freaky Friday. Murphy is used by Kubrick in Full Metal Jacket. That's his name, the character he plays, his voice.
And John Garfield in Garfield's Orange. Just kidding, but
Yeah, that too. Anyway, Marie Windsor, she's like the queen of the B movie.
She's Mormon. I mean, she's got to be, right? She's attended Brigham Young University, Marysville, Utah.
Probably.
Bro. Covered wagon days bro. I mean, that made me happy for levels I don't need. But that's pretty great.
Voluptuous and leggy, the way that you would describe most Mormon women.
True, it's true. But they keep, and also demute, because they keep their legs in those those pilgrim dresses. But she moved to Beverly Hills, which is like Beverly Hills, Elias Temple. The Mormon Temple in Beverly Hills, because the Mormon wars, right? They helped the army. They had the Mormon Battalion, and so one of the deals for the Mormon Battalion was that they got to be in Beverly Hills, and the money goes right back, because you were talking about the aviator. What's his name?
Howard Hughes.
Yeah, Howard Hughes was he had like epilepsy, like Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he ended up controlled by a group of Mormons who made his movies, made his planes, made his life happen. And then they kind of took they built their future around. I mean, a lot of Beverly Hills was built around the Mormons kind of swallowing up Howard Hughes' fortune and his drilling machines, because his fortune comes from his parents' drilling machines, which was essential to the underground bunker system in Salt Lake City and the tunnels, all the tunnels for all the genealogy records that they're keeping in Utah.
Creepy.
Sweet. And Salt Lake, Zion National Park is pretty orange.
But didn't
I
that
think good.
aren't we not even sure if that was like the real Howard Hughes or whatever? Wasn't he like kidnapped or had like a double or
possibly? I wouldn't be surprised at all if like
Multiple.
the Mormons had to like play somebody to like keep after he like died in a plane crash. The dude was crazy, I don't know that it's true though. I can't be.
Well, that was the whole plot of
Yeah.
James Bond movie, right? Was that Howard Hughes had died, and they were just maintaining somebody to act in that place, make the phone calls, and sign the checks.
Like Biden and Putin. Yeah, it could be. I mean, something there probably.
No, because the movie Diamonds Are Forever, James Bond,
which is also the one that had Kubrick staging the moon landing in it.
But instead of Howard Hughes, the guy's name is Walter whatever, but it's the person who gets kidnapped in that is a WW instead of an HH, but he's a stand-in for Howard Hughes.
Nice, WW.
So orange again?
Yeah, and he said Kubrick faking it. I don't know if you ever see anybody that like looks like Kubrick, but you do hear someone that sounds like Kubrick, which is kind of like when I just mentioned how as Murphy, he lends his voice to his movies. So anyway, you just kind of hear like a New Yorker guy on a mic.
That scene is so funny because the astronauts are still pretending that they're on the moon, like the way that they're
moving, they stay in character,
and he just runs around them. But I saw 1963 Outer Limits recently where the actors were supposed to be on the moon and they acted the exact same way, like this.
Nice.
Limp Bizkit did do Mission Impossible's theme song, which connects back to Ozzy Osbourne and James Bond. And the 1980s Mission Impossible series has a fake moon landing thing as well. Mission Impossible 1989.
Modern Mission Impossible is a fake everything.
88 with
What's the Ozzy Osbourne Fred Durst link? Did I miss something?
Well, just I think that he did. What was it? Because I don't know. We talked about. Limp Bizkit must have played at Ozfest. I think that's fair.
Multiple times.
And that's the connection.
That's
the best I got. But like he made the movie with Fanatic, Fantastic Four. He's at least part of the sync. Okay, syncs. That could be a thing. You need a Ronin sync. What kind of Ronin sync are you looking for? Robert De Niro's in it, so Taxi.
I mean, also just speaking of comic books too, Ronin is a really badass Ninja Turtles comic series.
And Ronin is isn't there another Ronin that the Japanese movie that inspired
Ronin is just Seven Samurai.
Kurosawa or something. Yeah, like there's the seven Yojimbo, is that right? There's like some movie, Ronin movie, 47 Ronin? No, there's one from 47 Ronin, 1941. The movie that inspired George Lucas to make Star Wars and to tell a story from like the position of younger, poorer characters, like the slave, the servant characters position, right? Which is why the droids are the ones that kind of tie the whole movie together. All the sexology is tied together. Sexology? The saga is tied together by the servants.
Okay, I'm just going to go backwards just for a second. In the 1971 James Bond film, The Diamonds Are Forever, features a character named Willard White, who is closely linked to the real-life billionaire Howard Hughes. Willard White, played by Jimmy Dean, is portrayed as a reclusive industrialist who owns a casino and hotel in Las Vegas, mirroring Hughes' own real estate holdings in the city. The film's plot involves the kidnapping of White by the villainous Blofeld, who is modeled after Aristotle Onassis, a storyline that parallels conspiracy theories about Hughes being held captive by Aristotle Onassis. Additionally, the film's director, Broccoli, reportedly drew inspiration from a dream about Hughes, further cementing the connection between the film and the real-life billionaire.
So you think Aristotle Onassis was holding Howard Hughes hostage, which connects Jackie Kennedy and the Kennedy assassination, therefore?
Well, I think
I bet you he would, because his whole empire was based off of shipping, right? Which would have been, threatened by Hughes and his aviators like innovations.
But also,
yeah,
I
Aristotle
like to
Onassis is Blofeld. There's no doubt about it. Like Blofeld is. There's so many Bond villains that are mapped after real people, like what we've talked about before with Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert. And he was actually portrayed in a James Bond too. So there's this whole thing about real things, real shit being hidden, and the writings of these real life secret agents. And that's also been put forth by Howard Hunt, who was the CIA agent who confessed to having helped kill Kennedy. Upon his death, he wrote a whole bunch of books too, in which it was said that he was hiding secrets of stuff that really happened.
I think, isn't that what inspired the Smoking Man in X-Files being like a novelist? He's like a failed novelist. You learn that.
Yeah, that would make sense, right? Oh,
yeah. Where'd that go? I just had that a second ago. Yeah, Andy Serkis, born on Hitler's birthday, 1964 instead of 1946.
So this is
Hitler born on Andy Serkis' birthday. Come on.
I can't remember who else was involved in this research. I think there's a couple other people who figured out the same thing. But if you look at all of the different major roles played in King Kong, with the first one being in the 30s, Jack has a birthday of 420. Faye Dunaway, I guess, in the one that comes in 1976, her birthday's in 420. And then in the newest Peter Jackson one, King Kong's birthday was 420. So there's this relationship.
King Kong has a birthday?
Well, Andy Serkis plays King Kong.
Oh, I see what you mean. The actor's birthday.
Yes. And his birthday is, because I have
Caesar then. That means that Caesar in Planet of the Apes is born on Hitler's birthday, which is pretty interesting. Because like the new Reich then. Right? Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
You know who? Well, it's not 420. 4-2. Pedro Pascal was born on 4-2.
Caesar, whose storyline basically kind of matches Harry Potter a little bit, and Caesar actually means Harry.
Dude, that's kind of interesting, right? Just that. What are they trying to say about that? Because Planet of the Apes, dude. I mean, right? I mean,
it's all the beast.
They're the ones that canceled Roseanne.
Ape must not kill ape.
Oh man, one of the good details in Superman is Lex Luthor having basically a bot army, but the bots are actually these monkeys that are rage monkeys that are just like the ones behind all these millions of Twitter accounts, and it's just a kind of throwaway moment of these angry monkeys typing like Superman sucks into X and stuff. So
I think the monkeys definitely kind of implicate like 2001 or Space Odyssey, right? Like there's
Jessica Lange's born on Hitler's birthday. Crispin Glover is born on Hitler's birthday. Carmen Electra is born on Hitler's birthday. George Takei, no wonder he freaks out. Oh, that must suck.
420-37 though. 420-37 for George Takei. 2 days.
I think I knew Crispin Glover's.
I actually feel bad for him now. I never felt bad for George Takei before. I actually keep calling him Takei because I don't really care enough about him to try to.
Clint Howard. So Ron Howard's brother that we see in everything.
Clint Howard's so funny looking though. He's like so, you know what I mean? He's got the. He's one of my favorite faces in Hollywood. I think there's a reason why you cast this guy, and it's not just his brother. Yeah, it is. That's why.
This is Ron Howard's brother.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
He's in all of Ron Howard's movies.
Dude, Clint Howard's daughter.
Yep.
So he's in Evil Speak, which have you seen Evil Speak from 1981? It's a very
Evil
Speak. This is where in 1981 horror movie he's basically a nerd at a military academy and his name is Stanley Coopersmith.
No, really?
And, yeah, he summons the devil through his computer.
This is gonna be good.
Early on,
oh my god,
they're making fun of him, they're bullying him, and they call him Cooper Dick. So they're like, "Hey, Cooper Dick, Cooper Dick, Cooper Dick," making it even more like Stanley Kubrick.
My God, bro. And he has the same
Big
haircut
Holy crap!
as Green Lantern.
Oh, sure.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
crazy.
actually a Green Lantern origin story.
Hey, Andreas,
is-
watch that movie with me. I'll make a thumbnail.
All right, we can definitely watch this movie. We should do a reaction to it for sure. We should record it and see if we can upload it for people to watch because like often can get away with weird things like that. Oh man, this is like John Travolta's first movie. This is a Satanic Vampire movie.
It's sweet. There's tons of number syncs.
That's
And,
just he's such a good actor. He gets not enough love. And yeah, look at all the Kubrick 2001 lighting thing.
Trained, bro.
Like
That
this
whole
is
family
remember
oh yeah, that's some slit
actors
scans.
and
Great
filmmakers.
2001. Evil Speak. This seems insane. I cannot believe that this is a thing. That's like wild, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You think Bryce Dallas Howard is like, oh, that's just my Uncle Clint?
Adrian Brody doesn't get enough credit. I love Adrian Brody. Have you done the Brody Quest?
Have you seen the Brutalist?
The Brody Quest.
Dude, Brody Quest is incredible. You gotta type in Brody Quest. I don't want to like completely
Adrian
ruin
Oh my
it, but it's like so good. Basically, it starts out with Adrian Brody's face.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
And your face wakes up, and then Adrian Brody goes on a little quest. It's like do 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 do. And he just walks around the world. He goes everywhere. He sees everything. He even goes down to the bottom of the sea. He goes past the dolphins to the deep ruins of Atlantis by the mermaids. Dude, really? I missed it.
There was like a little bit further back. There was a fair, and there's another dinger. There it is.
Dinger.
Oh, dude, dingery-doo. Yeah, and then the star starts to jump past them, and then like eventually it's just like Adrian Brody. He fakes the moon landing. Adrian Brody fakes the Martian landing. Becomes one with the sun. He becomes Apollo. As Apollo, he's like he's working with the aliens.
Elton
It's
John.
like a weirdly like everyone is and everyone will be Adrian Brody, and we all become one with the Brody Quest. Because it's not about the destination; it's about the Brody journey, the Brody Quest.
It's about the Brody journey.
And then all of a sudden, like your DNA is filled with Adrian Brody's, like the cosmos are Adrian Brody's, and then there's just Brody. Like you could tell like this meant something, right? Like he Brodyifies the world, and there's nothing that isn't Brody anymore. It's Brody on a cob. Founding Brodies, like it was the constitution, like the Benedict Brody batch. Brody dict.
Brody Quest.
Brodyhood.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I feel like there's something deep in that.
Make that a video game, maybe.
You have to unite.
Adrian Brody is whatever. He's good. He's a pretty good guy.
I think he's great. I liked him in The Predators. I thought that was good. I like pretty much any movies, I'll admit. Actually, it's weird. I like pretty much any movie Adrian Brody's in. The Pianist.
This is
doesn't matter.
What a take.
Have you seen the Brutalist yet?
Straight Jacket, based on Jack London's book. Not as good as the book, but still important. What'd you ask, Will?
The Brutalist.
The Brutalist.
I've not watched it. It's the one where he plays the architect.
Interesting.
4-hour biopic.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more than there. It's like not real, but it almost looks real. So when you go and you look it up, you think that it's real, and then you find out that they actually like passed out flyers as if it was real on that premiere, but it's not a true story.
Brutalist.
It's another. But he's a Holocaust survivor.
There's like several movies about that.
Hungarian.
He uses the bleakness of the Holocaust to inspire the brutalist architectural movement, which used concrete. Like it used concrete slabs, and that brutal, bare nature of bare concrete was like a big movement.
I've been thinking about brutalism in the Catholic Church, right? Like, I don't know if you ever grew up Catholic, but for me, the Catholic architecture is very specific. It's very post-Vatican II, and at least until the 90s, now you make pussy churches again, but the Catholic Church used to make these crazy, all the churches I went to as a kid look like this. I went to all of these like Death Star churches.
That's
like
what he's doing. He's building a church.
Totally.
He's building a church that looks exactly like that in the Brutalist.
Dude, I love like brutal. Like this. Look at this in Arizona, in Sedona. I've been to this church. I've been to like so many of these churches. It's crazy. I mean, to me, when I think of Catholicism, this is my first memory of it. Is these crazy dead, like Death Eater. I love it though. I mean,
Phase 4.
dude, it's cool. Like these churches are super dark, and you know, yeah, like there's something very Empire.
That's exactly what he's doing, and that's what that whole movie's about. And he's using.
I wonder why the Catholic Church did this. Why do you think the Catholic Church was so into post-Holocaust brutalism? Do you think it was like penance for, you know, the Pope Pius making a treaty with the Nazis and then betraying them to join the Protestants through the Skull and Bones, who were clearly Protestants?
I'm staying the hell away from this.
Did you bring up already that Adrian Brody was an Angels in the Outfield?
Oh yeah, dude, that's like amazing. Oh, I can immediately remember it too.
He was Danny.
Dude, so good. No, he's there he is. He's like the best baseball player. He needs to quit smoking, right? It's not the smoker.
The Angel's like rubbing his back and rubbing his shoulders.
Yeah, his shoulders. That's the thing. That's the Shining. It's the shoulder trope. I remember watching that movie and noting that fact. Like, it's about the arm.
Adrian Brody. So crazy.
Christopher Lloyd is the Angel time traveler.
Wasn't there something up with his number too? What was his number?
20.
It was either 23 or 24 or 21 or something like that.
I can't see a number on his uniform, so it's hard. 23 was Mitchell, who's the guy who dies, right? With the smoker. But no,
Tony Danza was the smoker, right?
Tony Danza dies. Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out who Adrian Brody is. But 23 was Tony Danza.
Matthew McConaughey. Too.
I'll have to go back and look.
You're gonna
we
have
watched
to.
that one too. We watched that one, so I have to have Steele somewhere.
God. Yeah, I have no idea what his number is. I can't find it anywhere. No one cared enough to like get the number.
I told you we have the number somewhere. It's just not here.
This seems like the kind of thing that we should have already had. I feel bad for everyone. How can we not know? How can we not know the number of his uniform?
Just ask Grok or something.
Grok doesn't know. Grok thinks it knows, and then it just lies to you all the time.
Yeah.
Grok is a liar.
Grok is a liar. It's true. Yeah, but brutalism in the Catholic Church is pretty weird. I thought you were going to touch this one. You have a Koresh take on the Death Eaters and the Brutalists?
Well, I mean,
I should visit this one. This one's in Austria. The Wutruba Church. Jesus, dude. Look at this stuff. Look at it. Who? Like, what? You think Jesus is going to ever be like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
That's our brutalism. That's what the house
my
of my
house.
father. That's just, yeah, it seems kind of suspicious. This is the Sea Church in China. Dude, so good. There's one in Osaka too. I think that's the Osaka Church. This is the one in Osaka. And then St. Pierre in France has these cool like holes in the wall for light to shine through. Creepy in a good way. Just poured concrete, just super minimalist and brutalist. I don't know. You don't have a thought on why Holocaust architecture, Christianity?
Well, I know why the architects who were mostly Jewish designed them. I'm not sure, I guess, why
But the Catholic Church was like, this really speaks to me.
Sort of atonement. But it makes a
I
point.
mean, isn't the Holocaust itself the atonement?
Most of the architecture done by the brutalists were by Jews, and they had a problem making churches. I mean, that's what that whole movie deals with. Now, like you said earlier, was it some sort of atonement or some sort of like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, the Holocaust means full burnt offering, right? Full burnt. It's a ritual burning. So you burn the entire sheep. You know, in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, it talks about the Kohenites will burn the entire until the bones are turned to ashes, right? And so that's why they use the word to describe the genocide in World War II. Even though, unless you're saying that like the Nazis were performing like a Jewish atonement ritual, then that's the wrong word to use. Right.
I think what is it? It's in the festivals chapter of Leviticus, which is Leviticus 23, where it talks about the festivals that the Jews are allowed to have.
Who's the boss?
And they give the wave sheaf. The wave sheaf is the burning of the rams or the lambs. Like you said, there's 24 lambs. They're burned with like some wheat and some barley, which is mentioned all through the Bible. But that was what they were doing at Waco. Was they were having 24 kids.
Oh, bro, Waco was the Holocaust,
and they were to be burned. But they
Waco
weren't burned
Holocaust.
by the Davidians. They were burned by the American government. It was kind of
This
like
is like the Tower of Babel, how it wraps around, you know, like going up the tower.
He was number 2, by the way, just in case you weren't going to be able to get to sleep tonight.
Adrian Brody was number 2. God bless you. That's interesting. What do you think that is? Because like ABBA.
Type in Brutalist Brody brochure.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they actually have. No, I have to go get. I think Andros Jones might have went to and he sent me a picture where they were giving out a brochure of the like the whole thing as if it were real. That's it right there. They just showed it. They passed this out as if the brutalist church that was being depicted was an actual church, and they had like a whole schematic on how it was made and a breakdown on the making. See, there's Brody right there, and it did not happen.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, for some reason. This is, I remember the Dominican hospital growing up. This is what the church looked like. Dominican hospital.
I have that. Somebody's selling it on eBay.
Santa Cruz Chapel. Chapel. In Santa Cruz, there's a Dominican hospital, you know, in other words, Dominican nuns. And I remember because my mom worked there, she was OBGYN, I would go in there, dude, and it just looks like it's so weird because it's got this beautiful stained glass window in this poured concrete brutalist architecture, which, I mean, it's one thing for a church, but for a hospital church is so weird. You know what I mean? Like, it makes that hospital experience that much more intense. So many people going to the hospital are going there not to live, but to die, which, you know, I know quite a few people die at that hospital. I would never really want to go to that hospital if I could avoid it. But like, yeah.
How do you feel about the like, how do you feel? What does it make you feel when you see it like that with those?
I like it a lot because to me it says that, you know, it's kind of urbanism, which is that any man is just one wad of dirt and the breath is eternal. So the breath breathes into man and breathes out of man. So really, it's all about this kind of permanence in an impermanent world. And it's saying also that the world itself is, you know, it's an altar in a sense, because we're making stone. It's not cut stone. It's actually like stone poured together, tiny stone. Yeah. But it's making a solid altar.
It's being put into a mold for formation in the way that we are supposed to like adopt the form of Christ.
Yeah. So to speak. And it reminds me a lot of, I mean, the Death Star and Santa Cruz in general is the inspiration for so much of Star Wars. Like if you look up College 9 UCSC, I think you can see like in the it's hard to see, like brutalist, like UCSC brutalist. Will I show you any of the buildings? You know, any of the brutalist architecture at UCSC, and this is the San Diego, University of San Diego, UCSD, Gazelle Library, the Theodore Gazelle Library, so Dr. Seuss Library, which is essentially an upside down pyramid, but with a little bit more going on. And I mean, it's to me, it's amazing. Like, I want to make movies about Soviet utopias, dystopic utopias. I would have to use the University of California campuses because they're just so, they speak of some sort of a point in history where there's nothing left to progress. We've already reached that future, and the future is now. So there's nothing that we're waiting for, and there's nothing that we're going to remodel or rebuild. This is it.
It's very Fantastic Four, bro. Very, very Fantastic Four. It's like the Jetsons.
Meets Minecraft.
Dude,
meets
Minecraft for sure. I see that for sure. Minecraft. Yeah, exactly.
Minecraft.
I don't think that's an accident. I don't know.
The other movie, Alex, you would be, I don't know if you haven't seen it yet. I know Lauren Coleman kind of went off on it.
Yeah.
But it has an intermission. It's a very, very long movie.
Yeah. I was just looking at it and I sent a thing in the private chat, but it's about the fact that it was filmed using what's called VistaVision. The first movie since the 60s to be filmed using this technique, which is, I don't
Does it say
understand that
Maha?
No, I
This is
remember something.
Maha, look.
Ma-
Maha. Maha. No, there's an A there. You don't
Is
see
that
it?
an A? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well,
Dude,
good
it's
call.
just like kind of hidden there, but
Mm,
Maha.
weird.
Sorry, you were just
Well,
saying.
yeah, but it's just VistaVision. It's and the last movie that was filmed in VistaVision was One-Eyed Jacks, which was 1961, which was the Western with Marlon Brando that Kubrick was going to make, but he never did. And so all of a sudden now we got this movie that's using this technique, and now the next Paul Thomas Anderson movie is going to be shot like this. And it's interesting. What it says is you film on 35 millimeter, but horizontally instead of or vertically instead of horizontally. I guess you get more image space. And,
Paramount did not use anamorphic process such as Cinescope, but
Vertigo
refined the quality of its flat widescreen system by orienting the 35 millimeter negative horizontally in the camera gate and shooting onto a larger area, which yielded a finer grained projection print.
That's why 10 Commandments look so good.
There's something though. There's just something about this V action, the VistaVision. Vertigo was one of the movies that was most famous for using it.
It was
and notice the fact that the Paul Thomas Anderson movie that is coming out this year using this is based on the Thomas Pynchon novel Vineland, and then Pynchon also one of his first novels was just called V. So I don't know how intentional. Why this is a thing, but
that's where I got okay. Because I just watched this whole series about
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's
good. This whole series about industrial light and magic, and it says here they used the vision, a retooled VistaVision camera dubbed the Draxtraflex, named for special effects master John Drextra, was used by the group. So they like repurposed the whole VistaVision and then updated it for computer generated imagery.
Yeah, lots of movies used it like in spots, but then for the Brutalist, the cinematographer Crawley, his name, Lowell Crawley, decided to do it so that it gave them advantage of like filming the architecture somehow, and then probably Paul Thomas Anderson was like, "Hey, I'm going to do that," and it also is like fits in this like Vertigo V thing matrix that's happening. V, I don't know what you want to say about it, but it's vaginal, probably.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Back to Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Vulcans, elves. Yeah, VistaVision. Pretty good.
More occult Hollywood games. VistaVision sounds like something Fantastic Four would do. Like Fantastic Four is a 60s revival too, you know, it's set in the 60s, and I don't know, maybe we're going to kind of 60s.
Pretty legit. Someone asked, Ezekiel Rats asked, is Pynchon still alive?
Yeah. Theoretically, supposedly. He's got a new book coming out on October 7th. It's going to be really exciting.
Is that Christopher Walken from Deer Hunter?
Looks like
Gravity's Rainbow. Yeah, apparently they're supposed to be still alive. Okay.
Yeah, he's old. He's an old man, but and he's a total like recluse. You never see pictures. You don't really know, but he seems to still be alive.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Although somebody just posted that they think they found him in a picture at the Newport Folk Festival. Like
that's where you brought that up.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's his book. And somebody earlier in the chat mentioned how the post horn symbol on the Crying of Lot 49 looked like whatever the symbols you were talking about earlier. The dinger maybe was.
The dinger.
Wow, this is interesting.
Tom he was on the Simpsons.
With the bag over his face. What?
It's just his voice. He lent his voice like Kubrick, and Murphy. He would lend his voice to the Simpsons.
Does Pynchon exist? Is a better question.
That's what people have been asking for many years. Does he exist?
Okay, what else are we going to bring up before we close up? What else do you guys want to say?
Didn't someone else die too? There were like 3 deaths. There was another one was from Family Matters. Was it Eddie from Family Matters,
no,
or was
Theo
it
from the Huxtables?
Theo? Okay.
Which I don't know. I was thinking about Theo Vaughn and the podcaster and the death of Theo. I didn't look into it too deeply, but did you guys hear that Theo Vaughn is like descendant of a Polish aristocrat?
Of course.
That's like
Yeah, for sure. How else do you get that far? You know what I mean?
Yes, that's just really strange.
It's clearly not based on merit.
I don't know.
It's tough. You know?
What that has to do with the death of what's his name?
Hottest mom ever, dude.
No, I think the second wife in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was not as cool as the first wife.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Theodorus. Who's Theodorus Assyrian, the mathematician? In 3 of Plato's dialogues, works of mathematics. Yeah, his mom was probably pretty hot. I could imagine. Back to pi. Theodorus to chaos. Something there.
I don't know.
Too much math this episode.
Because
Too
I'm
much.
here, isn't it? Theodore Huxtable, born August 18th, 1970. Again, that's Roman Polanski's birthday, August 18th. That would be his 37th birthday, Roman Polanski's 37th birthday. He dies on July 20th, which is a moon landing anniversary. 56 years. So sad. So sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but it doesn't sound good.
What,
Yeah, that's
death?
correct.
Yes. Oh, he was swept away by a current. He was swimming, so he was drowning.
What?
This is the same way William Colby died. Isn't that crazy?
And Jeff Buckley.
And Jose Mengele from Brazil. Actually, I think he's in a heart.
Maxwell, right? Not
That's
Ghislaine,
how,
but
that's how Glenn Maxwell's going to go? Okay.
Daddy Maxwell. That's how he went off, too.
He was drowned at sea, so I guess that counts. Yeah.
Sounds
Left with nothing, not even a pair of shorts, not a shirt on his back. Left naked with nothing in free waters, no land to call his own. Dude, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah, he dead.
Okay, so his midpoint, February 1st, 1998. I looked this up. It says some notable events that occurred on this date. This is AI overview, so whatever. Promotion of Lillian E. Fishburne to Rear Admiral, making her the first African American woman to hold that rank in the Navy. That's just kind of a thing.
You got the mushroom.
Lillian Fishburne, is there any relation to Larry Fishburne? Probably not.
Or, Lawrence.
We're all crunching away on Wikipedia here.
Yeah, true.
Fishburne got a kid, though.
Could be.
Fishburne. Yeah, sign up for my Substack if you want to support. That's what I would want to say.
Good call. Go, guys. CryptoCryptology.com. If you guys are interested in this man tumbling down the rabbit hole, then you'll find far more.
Should have something new to post.
Mathematically.
Yeah. It's some math, but a lot of words too. Mostly words.
True. Yeah. I mean, like Stanley the Bear, whole thing on the bear.
Lots
pretty
of
good stuff.
Analysis of everything and a little bit of podcasting. And you can access my archives by paying me $7.77 a month.
Brilliant.
Which, if you can do that, I would be so stoked.
Sure.
And
You'll be able to live, and the more he lives, the more numbers will come.
Read my series Purple Rain, all about Willy Wonka.
Dude, CryptoCryptology.com for the Substack.
Yeah.
Paranoid American.
We got so many, man. There's another one that I work on a comic with Sam Tripoli called Chaos Twins, and it's almost done. I just got page 19 in from the artist today, so within another 5 pages, if you go to chaostwins.com, it should bring you to the campaign for issue 2. So if you want to get a jump on like a cool limited edition cover, maybe a signed one by Sam Tripoli or some other cool things in there, then just go to chaostwins.com and then sign up for that one. We got a million of them. We could be here all night. I got Titanic comic, we got Satanic Panic comic. The other one too, the people have emailed me and asked me, what about this comic that you and David have been working on, and Andreas? That one's still in the works, but you can go to kubrickcomic.com and it'll just bring you right back to this website where you can sign up for the newsletter. So I'll have an update on all the new comics that have been in the works. If you just sign up for this newsletter, you'll get a free preview in probably a week or 2.
Oh, Ozzy Osbourne is dead. It's crazy. Meta Egg? Anything? You want?
Yeah,
we're going to talk about the fact that we're going to watch that movie, Brutalist, or what are we going to watch together? Freaky Friday? I forgot.
Evil? What was the name of that thing?
Evil Speak.
Evil Speak.
Yeah, we're going to watch Evil Speak, which the whole movie is available on YouTube. So I'm going to imagine that means that we can get away with this. I mean, it looks like Filmix are probably making money off of it. That's probably the deal. But we should try somehow or other to watch this
Probably
whole
on
movie.
Tubi too. Also, it's
Yeah, but what can we upload it again to YouTube, like Mystery
I have a
Science
torrent
Theater
of
with our faces in front of? I want to see it with our faces in front of the movie, making it impossible to enjoy, and see if that if they let us. Cool. They should let us just upload it. They should let us upload it that way, all screwed up with us talking over the film.
I would prefer. I've been wanting to do it that way for a while. I think that, David is anti-talking during movies, but I feel like having a couple of sync heads watch the same movie and like just spitball while you're watching.
You could even pause it and to talk about stuff and then unpause it.
That makes it even worse. Now you're
I love it.
It's gonna take even longer.
You should watch like 20-minute movie, like 20-minute episode of South Park for 6 hours, just spread out trying to explain
frame by frame,
But it's best. It's best. It's hard watching these movies and then going back and talking about them a week later. Like there's so much inspiration that lies like while you're watching the movie and the feelings you get. And you're like, oh my God, this reminds me of this movie. And some of that kind of gets lost.
That's true. All right. Well, we'll watch this movie. We'll have a sync film for you. Everybody make sure you check out Meta Egg. The Hermetic Philip Dick interview that you did with Ted.
With Ted Hand.
Yeah.
I have a lot of sync heads that everyone knows and loves. A lot of different people from here on SYNCTANK, but I also do some YouTubers like with Star Wars and so forth. Like just picking out the homages and picking out the little Easter eggs.
Why do you have Cash Patel off in the corner behind you? Like, what's going on with you in the end?
At that time, I had to have a producer. That's my cousin. Aaron. I just hung out with him yesterday.
Legit, bro. Well, let's get cousin Calvin Cash Patel. He looks like he's cool. I'll be down. And Star Wars Santa is cool. And also the things. Some of my favorite things you do are these like shorts. Yeah,
shorts
I think
like a ton of shorts. Probably only 50.
They're all watching your shorts. Look how great these are.
Memers moved quickly to find homage references in Boba. Episode 1, Clash of the Titans. Episode 2, Lawrence of Arabia. So by the time we all got to Grogu's chainmail, everyone in the Lord of the Rings loving uncle was like, yeah, I know what that is. That's Mithril. Followed by further visual references to the tradition of the Hobbit. This leads some of the smarter of the Star Wars fandom to peg the Boba finale as the Battle of the Five Armies, especially since everyone except Luke's mom was rumored to show up.
Bilbo Baggins, Boba Fett.
Cad Bane actually looks like the mouth of Sauron. Mordor actually looks like Mandalore. The Darksaber is the ring, since it's so heavy that only Grogu can lift it now that he has been healed by Master Luke. Not responsible for the complete dissolution of your mind or reality. Viewer discretion is advised. Meta Egg.
Based. Yeah. So, Meta Egg, and then you know what to do. There's 237. Oh, yeah. 237 people watching right now. So we just synced with Kubrick.
Kaboom.
So that feels really good. All right. See you guys next time.